Okay, magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat at eto nga, panibagong vlog na naman at magre-react tayo dito sa mga kumakalat ngayon na mga videos sa social media na itong mga anak ng mga kongresista, no, nagfi-flex ng kanilang marangya na buhay, nagfi-flex sa kanilang mga bags, nagfi-flex sa kanilang mga pagkain, nagfi-flex sa kanilang mga outfit, no, na sobrang yaman-yaman nila. At pag-usapan rin natin at ire-react rin natin itong nangyaring pagbaha sa Quezon City na 2 oras na ulan ay grabe na ang baha sa Quezon City. Na hindi man ito nangyari noon sa panahon po ni former President Duterte. At dahil dito sa mga itinatayo na mga flood control projects ay nagkaganito na ang sitwasyon ng Maynila. Kanina, kitang-kita po natin ang mga videos na kumakalat sa social media ang pagbaha sa Quezon City. Ang nakapagtataka dito ay hindi po ito nakita ng mga kongresista. Kasi ang nakikita lang nila ang baha sa Davao. Nakakatawa nga eh. Kasi ang Davao, kapag sobrang lakas talaga ang ulan sa Davao, magbabaha. Pero after 2 hours, mawawala na ang baha. Meron ngang mga nagsasabi na 30 minutes lang. After 30 minutes, nawawala na yung baha. Kasi hindi ibig sabihin na meron kayong flood control ay ma-prevent na ninyo ang flooding. Control nga flood control, makokontrol yung baha. Pero ang nangyari po dito sa Luzon, hindi na nakokontrol ang mga baha. Kasi nga, alam natin kung paano trinabaho itong mga flood control projects. So, sa ngayon, alam na alam ng taong bayan ang mga nangyayari. Dahil pasalamat na lang tayo na merong social media na makapagsabi at makapagbalita sa mga nangyayari ngayon sa ating lipunan. It's very sad to see people flexing their richness na itong kayamanan nila ay hindi naman galing sa hirap at pawis ng kanilang mga magulang, kundi nakakabahala po kung saan po galing itong mga pera na ito dahil sila po ay government officials at kung meron man silang mga negosyo ay nakapagtataka rin bakit ganon-ganon kayaman sila. So questionable nga ang kanilang buhay. At dahil dyan sa harap-harapan na panglilimbong sa taong bayan, halos lahat nagsalita na. Pati ang mga kaparian natin, yung mga priest natin nagsasalita na. Yan ang una kong ipapakita at ipaparinig sa inyo. Meron isang pare na nagsalita na mas maganda pa yung panahon ni Tatay Digong. Takot na takot itong mga government officials dito kay former President Duterte kapag merong korupsyon na nangyayari. Pangalawa na ating pag-uusapan ay meron tayong video na ipakita sa inyo. Hindi ko lang alam kung itong babaeng ito ay isang lawyer at magaling sa batas natin. Na sinabi niya na itong mga contractors na sangkot sa korupsyon sa DPWH at dito sa mga kongresista ay kung mapapatunayan po na sila po ay nangungurakot, ay may parusa sila. At idedetalye niya kung ano itong mga parusa na ito. Okay? At panghuli na ating pag-uusapan, hindi pa pala, meron pa pala tayong ipapakita na video na old video o ano ito? Dating video ito ni former President Duterte na hindi nagkamali si Duterte patungkol po kay Presidente Bongbong Marcos. Ito yung panahon na malapit na yung eleksyon at may sinabi si Tatay Digong. Ipapakita ko tong video na ito at talagang masasabi natin na sana nakinig na lang tayo kay Tatay Digong. At higit sa lahat, last but not the least na ating papanoorin ay isang interview ni Congressman Abante. Nagsalita na at sumagot na siya dito sa napahiya siya patungkol sa ginawa ni Congressman Paulo Pulong Duterte. Ang nasagot lang niya ay mabuti naman. Yun lang. Ito yung nasabi niya. Kasi napahiya siya Kini-question niya itong si Pulong, na mga flood control ni Pulong na ginawa doon sa Davao, sobrang tibay. Merong resibo kung paano ginasta. Yan ang napala mo, Abante, sa pangingialam mo sa ibang distrito. Bakit hindi mo pakialaman yung sarili yung distrito na yung mga flood control projects mo, palpak. Di ba? Yun po ang mga pag-uusapan natin ngayon. Pero bago ang lahat guys, bago natin ito pag-uusapan, help me po muna na i-like at saka i-share itong video na ito para guys kakalat ito sa taong bayan. Okay? Sabay-sabay muna tayong mag-like and share sa Donmar TV. Itong video na ito, like and share. 1, 2, 3, go! Okay, naka-like and share na ba lahat? And also guys, sa mga bago pa lang dito sa aking channel, mag-subscribe na po kayo para lagi kayong updated sa ating mga balita. And at the same time, yung mga cellphone ninyo, ma-notify yan kung meron tayong breaking news, bagong uploads, o kung nagla-live ang ating channel. Ma-notify kayo lahat dyan. Kaya mahalaga po na mag-subscribe tayo sa Donmar TV. 1, 2, 3, go! Ayan, nakasubscribe na ba lahat? Okay. So, ito yung ipapakita ko sa inyo, itong pari na ito, na mas mabuti pa yung panahon ni Tatay Digong. Ito, panoorin natin. Play.
Kung matetreten sila sa pagtakbo ng mga Duterte, matreten sila. Bakit? Matitino yung Duterte. Ako po'y nangangarap na ang Duterte mabalik. Pansinin nyo, noong panahon niya na nakaupo, mga politiko'y takot na gumawa ng mali. Pati pulis, pati sundalo, takot. Biglang, anong nangyari? Ngayon ang mga kurakot mga nakaupo. Narin po kayo? Tayo may hindi pinanganak kahapon. Alam natin yan. Bakit ang isang obispo ay sumusuporta sa ganito? Hindi masamang mangarap ng pag-unlad ng pagkakaisa sa bansa natin. Kung hindi tayo magsasalita at kikilos, kung hindi tayo magpapakita ng puwersa, ng lakas, sino ang gagawa nito? No, kung palakpak lang, hindi mo magawa, lalo na sa rally, hindi mo kaya. Yung makasigaw ng amen! Yan yung matatapang. Dapat, ito ang tandaan nyo, ang buhay natin, minsan lang. Pakisabi mo sa katabi mo, mamamatay ka rin. Sabihin mo, malapit na. Pero, bago mamatay, napakagandang nagparinig ka, nagparamdam ka para sa bayan. Yun ang pinakamahalaga sa lahat. Amen po? Ako po hindi takot makulong, mabugbog, basta't iparamdam mo yung gusto mong iparamdam. Mga Bulakenyos, mga kasama kong taga-Caloocan, Zambales, Pampanga, aba, hindi masama na suportahan natin itong rallying to. Yung iba na pe-pressure ng kung sino. Natural lang yun. Kumatetrete.
So, ayan tama naman itong si, obispo pala ito, obispo. Hindi ko kilala siya pero na-appreciate ko lang na pinupuri niya si Tatay Digong. Tama naman siya Nung panahon ni Tatay Digong, yung mga government officials takot magkamali. Takot mag-corrupt. Kasi kung mangungurakot ka, talagang ipapahiya ka at makulong ka. Takot yung mga kapulisan, takot yung mga sundalo. At grabe ang moral ng kapulisan at sundalo at panahon ni Tatay Digong. Kaya, dito natin ma-realize ba na sinayang nila ang pera ng taong bayan dito sa administrasyong Marcos. Wala pabaya di ba? Hindi sila natatakot ng presidente. Itong mga kongresista na ito, abusado wala silang pakialam. Kahit nga ngayon na mismo na ang presidente ang nagsabi na mahiya naman kayo. Ang hindi ko nga maintindihan ni Bongbong Marcos ay hindi niya mapangalanan itong mga kongresista na ito. Ang napangalanan lang niya ay itong mga pangalan ng mga contractors, yung kumpanya. Si Paulo Pulong Duterte, Congressman Paulo, nakapagpakita na ng resibo kung paano niya ginasta o paano nagawa ang flood control projects dyan sa Davao. Siya lang ang una, siya lang ang nagpapakita. Mag-iisang buwan na siguro. Na since ipinakita ni Bongbong Marcos, ni BBM, yung mga contractors, pero ni isang congressman, walang nagpakita sa kanilang flood control projects na mga dokumento. Bakit nagawa yan ni Kong Pulong at hindi nyo magawa-gawa yan? Yung mga buhaya dyan sa Kongreso. Diba? Tama nga naman itong pari na ito. Siya po ay nagdasal na maibalik ang mga Duterte para matakot lahat ang mga buhaya sa gobyerno. Okay, ito. Next nating pag-uusapan ay ano ba ang magiging parusa nitong mga contractors na ito kapag napapatunayan na sila po ay nangungurakot sa gobyerno. Sana naman pati rin itong mga kongresista ay makulong rin ang mga buwaya dyan sa House of Representatives. Ito, panoorin po natin.
Kung ang contractor ay yumaman dahil sa illegal or ghost projects with the DPWH, ano yung mga pwedeng ikaso sa kanya? Number 1, graft and corruption under RA 3019 with an imprisonment of up to 15 years. Kahit na private citizen sila, pwede silang makasuhan under the anti-graft law kung mapatunayan na nakipagsabwatan sila with government officials. Number 2, bribery under the revised penal code, specifically Article...
Teka muna, nagtatanong lang ako, nasaan na ba si Zaldico? Nagpakita na ba? Nagpa-interview na ba? No? Nag-explain na ba?
212 for corruption of public officers with an imprisonment of up to 12 years. Number 3, violation of Section 35 of RA 4566 if they work on projects as contractors without a license issued by the PCAB. Number 4, procurement fraud under RA 9184. Number 5, estafa under Article 315 of the Revised Penal Code if may bayad na tinanggap or may project pero hindi ito ginawa. Pwedeng makulong ng panghabang buhay. Number 6, civil liability. Pwede silang pagbayarin katumbas ng halagang kanilang nakurakot. Plus damages sa gobyerno at mga residenteng naapektuhan sa kanilang project. For a successful prosecution of these criminals who are using taxpayers' money for their lavish lifestyles, evidence against them must be strengthened, the whistleblowers and the witnesses must be protected, and the people should keep the government accountable until these contractors go to jail. This is Attorney Bernice Piñol Rodriguez. Remember,
Sana naman ay hindi lang mga contractors ang makukulong. Sana makulong rin ang mga kasabwat, no? At si Greco Bilhica rin ang nagsabi niyan na wag niyong unahin itong mga contractors, mga sangkot sa DPWH, mga sangkot sa COA. Huwag niyong unahin yan. Unahin natin itong mga contractor, itong mga kongresista na ito. Kasi sabi ni Greco, sila yung nagkokontrol sa money, ang budget. Alam nila yan. They can manipulate the money. Sila ang mga kongresista, sila yung mga merong kasabwat na mga contractors. Pwede yan sila makipag-usap ng mga contractors kung ano ang deal nila. As I said, marami pang mga contractors na mga matitino. Okay? Marami ring mga kongresista rin na magaling at honest. We are talking here not in general na lahat hindi. Yun lang talagang mga natutuklasang mga proyektong mga sablay, walang bakal. Sino ang mga kongresista nito, mga buhaya na ito? Yun dapat ang mapaparusahan. Okay? Okay. Bakit ko nasabi na sana nakinig na lang tayo dito kay former President Duterte? O eto, panoorin na itong old video na ito. Na sana nakinig tayo kay Tatay Digong. Panoorin natin.
Is there going to be a coalition between PDDS or PDP with Lakas CMD?
No.
No?
No, I cannot because nandyan si Marcos. Hindi ako believe na he's really a weak leader. Kaya ako sabi ko, totoo yan, hindi ako naninira ng tao. Talagang weak. Kasi spoiled child, only son. Of course, he can talk. He delivers English articulate. Pero ang-aral kasi kung saan-saan sa labas. Pero kasabihin mo may crisis, gano'n. He's a weak leader. At saka may bagahe siya. Ano nga sinasabi ko sa inyo? Totoo yan. I do not voice lies. Masisira ka. Pero bantay ka yan. Kamali ang Pilipinas na.
At talagang nagkatotoo na nagkamali ang Pilipinas.
I'm not saying mas maghusay ako. Maybe magkaroon silang maraming pera, may magpahiram, or mga loans ng...
Is there going to be a...
So, yan po ang video na kumakalat ngayon. Nire-recall itong video na ito. Natama si Tatay Digong. Weak leader talaga si Bongbong Marcos. Kapag merong crisis, hindi talaga maaasahan. Kagaya ngayon, meron bang isang kongresista na napaparusahan? Wala. Kawawa nga tayong taong bayan eh. Parang pinaglaruan lang tayo. Harap-harapan na yung baha. Harap-harapan na yung korupsyon ang nangyayari. Pero parang pinaikot-ikot pa rin tayo. Investigation dito, hearing doon. Walang nangyari, walang napaparusahan. Mas lalong yumayaman ang mga buwaya sa gobyerno. At tayo, mga Pilipino, lubog na tayo. Kaya hindi umaasinso itong bayan na ito eh. Sabi nila, walang pera ang Pilipinas. Wala, hindi. Sobrang dami po ang pera ng Pilipinas since then. Mayaman ang Pilipinas. Hindi sana tayo umuutang kapag walang mga kurakot dito sa gobyernong ito. Nakakadismaya nga eh. Umuutang ang gobyernong Pilipinas para may makurap na naman dito sa mga buhaya na ito. Ay nako. Grabe. Sana nga, no? Sana maibalik ang mga Duterte sa 2028 para ubos lahat ang mga korupsyon na ito. At tayo po'y nagsisisi bakit si Bongbong Marcos ang presidente natin ngayon. Sana'y nakinig tayo kay Tatay Digong. Na it's too late already. Too late. Nakulong pa doon sa dahig. And we are hoping and praying na mag-grant yung interim release ni Tatay Digong at mabasura yung kaso niya sa ICC. Okay, ito. Panoorin natin itong interview ni Abante. At magko-komentaryo tayo dito.
Permits the capital's
in my own district, no.
Congressman, good to have you again. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for your time.
Good evening, good evening.
Okay, let's start with Manila because is it true that there are 200 flood control projects worth about 14 billion pesos that Mayor Isko is saying was done without permits?
That is what Mayor Isko said, no? More than 214 billion, and it was also told that he told the press that I had about 2 billion in my own district, no. There's a congressman that had 4 billion. Kaya sabi ko, I'd like him to start in my district because anyway, see, Manila is actually a city that is yung tawag doon, below the sea level, no. And so my district alone is Cass Basin, or Cass Basin. In fact, the two main tributaries like Pasig River and San Juan River go to my own district.
Did you say San Juan, sir?
San Juan River.
Okay. And Pasig?
San Juan River is the dirtiest river in the Philippines, and we cannot do anything about it unless otherwise doon sa taas, like Quezon City and Mandaluyong, would do something about it.
Yeah.
So kahit na anong gawin namin dyan, wala rin mangyayari. So we're waiting. This is not just a Manila problem. This is actually a Metro Manila problem.
Yeah, in fact, you were quoted as saying that dapat or it is better that you look into San Juan, Mandaluyong, Manila, Quezon City para holistic ang approach nito. All right. But in your district, because you were congressman 2022 to 2025 of the 6th district, did you already check how much went to flood control projects?
In my district, I think from the 19th Congress to about this Congress here,
2025
up to 2025 would be around about 2 billion. 2 billion, no? But that 2 billion did not go all through to the flood control projects. I have multipurpose halls that were built actually. I had pumping stations built on some rivers, and then drainage. What we did was the DPWO changed the drainage from yung pambilog na cement that to a culvert. para mas malaki, no? That's the reason why we were able to address the flooding in my district. Unlike before in 2004, where
so
the
it was
flooding
worse. It was worse before.
Oh, it was worse. Like the Ondoy. I mean, we cannot anymore pass through it with our cars. So there is a military truck that I actually rode on, no, and went through the flooded street in Santa Ana.
But would that be a fair comparison, Congressman? Kasi hindi pa naman natin naaabutan si Ondoy level eh. So you really don't know kung ganun kadami yung bumuhos na ulan, kung ano magiging effect doon sa 6th District.
I think Ondoy is only about, what, 4 or 5 years ago? Oo. The kind of rain that are actually falling now, that we're having now, is almost like Ondoy before.
Okay.
See? But at this point in time, in Santa Ana alone, we do not have that kind of a flooding now. The flooding we have would now be in Santa Mesa, where the San Juan River flows, and also in Punta, where the Pasig River actually go into. So doon lang ang flooding. And the thing is, I was telling the DPWH and the MDA, because I complained about a week ago that when you build something, you should not only build that, you ought to monitor it, and you ought to maintain it. But the thing is, it's not being maintained properly. So that's the complaint that I have with the MDA and the DPWH, because they should monitor if it's working, they should maintain it that it's working, because right now, there was a chairman that complained to me in Beata Pandacan, where the Pasig River actually flows. And the pumping station there with the floodgates have not been working for about 4 years. So I asked the MDA, and the MDA told me that's the problem of DPWH.
I want to get to that more, sir. But when you mentioned the amount, rather, of 2 billion, this is probably 2022 to 2025 now as we speak. Ano po? Sabi mo, hindi po lahat yan flood control dahil meron kayong multi-purpose. Meron kayong number just on flood control, which would include the pumping stations, etc., the culverts, lahat po yun. Just an approximate.
Palagay ko yung pumping station na pinagawa ko since tinita natin Congress would be around mga 5.
What is 5, sir?
5 pumping stations.
Okay.
Hindi,
pero in terms of cost, magkano po ang napunta sa 6th District in terms of cost for flood control?
I think there's hindi ko alam lahat, pero one pumping station would cost around somewhere from 25 to 50 million. One pumping station. Kasi talagang mahal because the equipment come from abroad.
Quick question about that, follow-up, sir. I recall reading something that there was a pumping station that Mayor Isko was saying in Santa Mesa na tama ho ba na ang generator ay nakakabit sa tama ho ba car battery?
Okay. Now, of course, that is DPWH's problem, no? They should actually maintain that. Palagay ko ako rin nagpatayo noon pero when DPWH built that during my time, it was also the time of Mayor Isko. He was the mayor then. But ang pinagkataka ko, bakit ngayon lang niya nakita? When it was actually built during his time when he was mayor.
But marami din, that's the same question we can ask every single one of you and every single LGU, sir, just to be fair, na bakit ngayon nyo lang lahat yan napapansin? Hindi ho ba? That's why, hence this investigation, after the President said, mahiya naman kayo. Okay, so be that as it may, sir. So do you think it's a positive development right now that everyone seems to have their own stake, their own opinion, their own investigation into these flood control projects?
It is. I believe, Pinky, that should be. I mean, that should be talked about every day. We should actually finish this. No, it's not just that will be in the press for about 1 week and afterwards, boom, nakalimutan na. No, palagay ko, we should actually put a period to this.
In the 6th District, have you gone around, have you checked, Congressman, to see if you have, number one, ghost or substandard flood control projects?
I would go around. In fact, I have my own engineer that actually monitored the project from the time they started, while they're building it, and after building it. Because usually, after building it, when it's completed, we have an inauguration to it. So, hindi pwedeng hindi makompleto yan because we cannot inaugurate if it's not completed. See? And I would like to say that there's no substandard project in my district. There's no ghost project in my district that I could be able to assure the public about that.
Wala po kaming makikita o yung mga tao o yung mga reporters na substandard or ghost sa 6th District.
Wala kayong makikita. During my time, I do not know. I do not know the past congressman, but during my time, wala.
And your time would be which Congress?
Well,
the 19th?
I was a congressman in 2004 until 2010. And then I came back in the 19th Congress and then this Congress.
Okay. All right. Quick, siguro fact check lang, sir. See, when you mentioned Ondoy, that was a bit of almost 2009 pala po yun.
2009.
Ganun na po katagal yan. All right. So, it's a good thing that people are more curious, interested, and want people to be held accountable. So if you say in the 6th District, sir, during your time, walang substandard at walang ghost, tila walang magiging problema si contractor doon po sa 6th District.
Wala. In fact, I check on my contractors when the President began to list down all the contractors, and I'm so glad na wala doon sa listahan ni Presidente.
But when you say my contractors, that might be misconstrued, sir, na kayo ang pumipili ng contractor, kaibigan nyo si contractor.
Hindi po. Wala akong kaibigan contractor. In fact, it is actually the DE that suggests what contractor to use. You see?
Are you close to the DE? Kasi that's another thing that's coming out, sir.
Actually, I'm not close with any one of them because in a way, DPWH always changes the DE, once in a while. For example, like a DE would only be there for about 3 years or 4 years. Nagbabago yan. So you cannot really be close to them.
So you've never had any dealings with the DE dahil nagiging, sir, medyo notorious ang mga DE ngayon dito sa usapin ng flood control. Do you have any dealings with them? Meron
Ibig sabihin ng DE District Engineer, ha?
Ho ba kayong naging project na napag-usapan, na sinabi mo, kailangan mo to gawin, kailangan mo ibigay ito kay contractor na ganito, or otherwise, sir?
Hindi ako nagsasabi ng ganun because I'm not even party to the bidding and everything like this. They're the ones doing it, actually. No. Ang ginagawa lang namin, there is what we call as the congressional initiative, no? It's not the insertion, but the initiative. It means that, okay, there's a barangay chairman who would tell us, we have a problem with this. So, okay, pakilista yung problemang yan, and I would discuss with the DPWH about the problem, and if the DPWH would put a budget to it, then okay, we're gonna put a budget to it.
Pero yun din po, hindi naman po ikinakaila ng ibang mga congressman na kailangan kayong lumapit sa, for example, sa DPWH para pondohan certain projects in your areas of responsibility.
Actually, ang nilalapitan namin yung secretary, di ba, during the budget hearing.
The DBM?
Yes,
okay.
The DBM. The DBM should be blamed for that because the NEP, for example, when they submit the budget to Congress, it's the NEP. It's the DBM that actually submit the NEP to Congress. They're the ones that actually get all of the funding.
That's right.
Oh. And then later on naman, pag naging GAB na yan, o naging JA na yan, naging batas na yan, doon lamang nagkakaroon ng tinatawag nating congressional initiative. Where, for example, the need of the district, pwede nilang pakinggan. Pwede nilang sabihin na wala kaming pondo dyan.
Pero doon din pumapasok si insertion, di ho ba? Si congressional insertion. Then that's not the DBM secretary. It's the fault of Congress kung may insertions. Kasi the money stays the same
If I would say there is a certain insertion to it, but sa amin we have congressional initiative more than the insertion. Because what we do is we just tell them, okay, there's a problem in my barangay here. If you would like to fund it, okay. Kung wala kayong pwedeng ipondo, wala akong magagawa. See, because they hold the budget.
But that's also the reason why this coming budget season, sir, there are going to be reforms, ni Huba, as mentioned. Sabi po ni Congressman Toby Tiangco even before, actually during the President's State of the Nation address, sabi niya po, tanggalin na kasi ang mga small committees na yan dahil wala ngang record ng mga small committees. In fact, during the first, it wasn't called a hearing, talk, regarding the 2026 budget, the congressman, Toby Tiangco, hindi ho ba hinihingi pa nga yung records mula kay Congresswoman Swan Singh? Kasi nga, wala daw records itong small committee dahil ang lumalabas, sir, merong mga nangyayaring magic dun sa mga small committees.
Kawawa naman si Congresswoman Swan Singh because siya, batang-bata siyang legislator, no? Eh, hindi pa siya nun eh. Hindi pa niya time yun eh.
It was Congresswoman Stella Kimbo, right?
Oo, hindi pa niya time yun. Siguro, Toby Tiangco has been there for what? The past Congresses? He should have actually, complained already on that before that time. Bakit ngayon lang? And I was thinking, alam niya na yun eh, nung pa. Bakit ngayon siya nagko-complain?
Yeah, in fact, I asked him that same question and then meron po siyang resibo. Way back, maraming beses na rin daw siyang nag-complain. But okay, so there is going to be a hearing by the House. It's a TRICOM hearing and you will be chairing that as well, right?
No. I'm chairing the Quadcom.
The Quadcom,
just be a part of the
Hindi
TRICOM,
kayo dun sa TRICOM. All right, so there's a TRICOM kasi medyo nakakalito yan eh. So it's going to be public accounts?
Yes.
Public accountability?
Public accounts and public order.
Public order.
And public works.
And public works. And that will start on Tuesday. We're going to talk about that. After the break, we'll continue our discussion with Manila's 6th District. So let's talk about the TRICOM briefly, sir.
Yes.
Ang kasama pala doon ay si Congressman Joel Chua. Medyo nalito ako kasi kayo doon sa Quadcom. Quickly.
Congressman Terry Don is the chairman.
Right. So, how can you siguro assure the public that this TRICOM hearing will come up with an investigation that will be impartial? With this in mind, sir, this cloud of doubt that there are congressmen who are contractors or contractors who became congressmen.
Well, if we were only base it on our hearing, no, I could not assure the public because there are always doubts that may bias dun eh. So sabi ko, why don't we have it more of a whole government approach where the executive, where the judiciary, and Congress are investigating and including this. I believe that there should be an independent commission to investigate so that all biases will be taken away. You know, if all of us are the ones investigating it, siguro may maniniwala yung mga tao na okay to, very serious talaga to, talagang totoo itong ginagawa namin.
Does it mean to say that you're not too hot on this TRICOM hearing? You're not really in favor of it?
I'm not actually too hot, but I'm concerned and I would like to be joining it and I would like to be in it and perhaps ask questions.
Pero ibig ko sabihin, hindi po kayo, kasi like even the majority leader was not really in favor of this TRICOM.
Oh, well, I think he made a statement on that.
He did.
Diba? Oh, sa akin din, ako, noon pa, I was actually saying na, why don't we put up an independent commission on this? Because there are certain congressmen who are involved actually. And yun ang sinabi ni Magalong eh. That's why I'm telling Magalong, Mayor Magalong, I support you on your expose. But do not make a blanket accusation to all of us. No? You are welcome to attend the hearing and you could be able to point it out. Who are the congressmen, how much have been spent, and if there are some corruption that has been done, you're free to do it.
Do you feel?
Of course, under oath yan.
Yeah. Do you feel that nadamay po lahat ng miyembro ng Congress?
Nadamay lahat eh. I mean, in fact, later on, medyo nagsabi siya na hindi naman lahat.
Sabi niya meron namang good men and women.
After I said that, don't make a blanket accusation.
Okay.
And then he said that there are 67 congressmen involved. So we'd like to find out who they are.
I think that needs to be clarified because I was also looking into that, sir. I believe it was Senator Ping Lacson that said yung May 67.
But he also
Pero
mentioned it.
echoed also,
Yes, also
by
mentioned it.
the mayor. Let's listen. I had him last night here on the show, and I was asking him, is he ready? Sakaling patawag po siya ng TRICOM. Let's listen to what he said.
Lagi nga nila akong inahamon dyan sa House of Representatives, pero wala naman silang pinapadalang notice. And besides, kung nakatanggap naman ako ng notice, with all due respect to the House of Representatives, of course, I will attend. Handa na kami doon. Kaya naghihintay na lang nga ako ng tawag nila.
Yeah, meron pa kong kasunod yan I don't know if it's there. Alright, kasi tinanong ko po yung part dyan na will you name names? Sabi niya, yes. Sabi ko, ilan po sila? Ang sabi niya, di ko muna sasabihin anticlimactic.
Sinabi niya na But the thing is this, I'm actually waiting for that. Ako'y nagpapasalamat kay Mayor Magalong that despite all of the problems he has in Baguio City, that he still has time to be able to expose this and tell to the public that there are some congressmen, even senators involved. So maganda yun. If he'll take an oath, he's going to name names, and he will tell all that to us. That's a welcome development.
Who do you think among the congressmen should be? I mean, how do you even think this hearing should begin on Tuesday? I guess I asked that, Congressman, kasi parang there's so many issues, there's so many cities, there's so many flood control projects. Paano ho kaya dapat umpisahan yung hearing para medyo smooth at flowing po yung magiging pagdinig?
I actually do not know the plans of Congressman Ridon, but I would be thinking that he's going to start with Benguet, no? And if he starts with Benguet, for example, or Bulacan, he might start with Bulacan. So, malaking problema yon. Then he goes to Benguet, he goes to Davao City, ganun na mangyayari sa pinag-uusapan namin So, I just would like to tell...
Kasama talaga yung Davao. Unahin nyo pa yung Davao na wala namang problema doon sa Davao. Di ba?
Mayor Magalong, that maghintay ka lang because your time will come, actually.
And you actually are really looking forward to that.
Yes.
Not
yes.
sarcastic, sir. You're not being sarcastic.
No. In fact, I told the public that I fully support Mayor Magalong for
Okay, you mentioned Davao, no? Meron pong naging tugon si Representative Paulo Duterte from the 1st District of Davao.
Ito na yung sagot niya sa ipinakitang ebidensya ni Kong Paulo Pulong Duterte. Napahiya siya dito Ang nasabi niya lang, oh good, that's good. Kasi akala niya siguro corrupt si Congressman Pulong. Ayan, napatunayan ni Kong Pulong. Pahiya kayo.
Davao City because of this, yung mga flood control projects din po sa kanyang lugar. Speaking to you, referring to you, he said that if he really wants to know the exact figures, I am directing the DPWH district and regional offices to provide him the official data and amounts. And then he says, wala namang nababagsakan ng mga flood control projects dito. Wala din mga ghost projects dito. Kung may bahaman dito, humuhupa din agad. Hindi kagaya ng mga swimming pool nyo dyan sa lugar ninyo.
Well, that's very good, no? But I was told...
Diba? That is very good. Wala kang masabi. Kasi ako naniniwala, ako nakakita na ito sa social media. Yung ipinakitang ebidensya talaga na pulido. Pictures of these flood control projects na sobrang matibay. Napahiya siya
That there are about 250 areas in Davao City that actually were flooded. Now, I do not know kung humuhupa agad yun, no? But it's flooded. Now, kung walang flood control projects dyan, ibig sabihin, he's responsible for that because, look, Pinky, he received 51 billion pesos for the 3 years that he was a congressman during his father's time. Ako naman, hindi ko naman siya inaakusahan ng bagay. I've never accused him of...
kaya nga, pinakitaan ka nga. Yun, kalat na kalat sa social media.
any ghost project. I've never accused him of any substandard project. I was just telling the public na yung kanyang kapatid na acting mayor was actually blaming the administration na ito is a PR stunt lang to. So sabi ko, why don't you talk to your brother who received that much amount of money to find out what happened to the flood control projects that he had. 51 billion yan, Pinky.
And this is the years of, would this be 20...
3 years. During the time that his father was
the first
president.
3 years or the...
I think the second 3 years.
So it has to be maybe 19, ano po?
2019. The second 3 years.
Yeah. All right. So, be that as it may, sir, so Tuesday is going to be the hearing. On Monday, meron din pong hearing ang Senado naman. That's going to be there the second day of hearing. Quickly, I wanted to talk about the Quadcom, no? I hope you don't mind. So, you already had a briefing on this, and I wanted to ask you so far, are you happy with the progress of the investigation from the NAPOLCOM, the DOJ, doon po sa mga lumalabas na mga testimonya?
No, I'm not. In fact, I told them during the briefing that the committee is quite disappointed with your revelation because look, the DOJ is investigating, the CIDG is investigating, the NAPOLCOM is also investigating, but so far, none has been charged in court. Diba? And one more thing, even if the forensics of the Philippine National Police uncovered 401 human bones, so to speak, ang sabi nila, but they have not actually given us any DNA
match.
DNA match.
Actually, very difficult na yung ma-recover. Tampered na yung evidence eh. Opinion ko yan. Wala na yan eh. So, ayun guys, no? Na sagot niya yung hamon mismo niya kay Pongpolong. Napahiya siya eh. Sabihin mo pang merong mga areas dyan na mga bumabaha. Sinabihan ka nga, after 30 minutes, humuhupa na yung baha. Ayaw mo pang Next time kasi, Abante, pakialaman mo ang distrito mo. Huwag kang makialam diyan sa mga Duterte. Ang hirap sa inyo. Isasangkot nyo na naman siguro, no? Ang baha sa Maynila, si Duterte na naman ang may kasalanan. Baka i-magic nyo na naman yan. Baka patungo na naman yan ng So, kayo mga audience ko dito rinig nyo ang mga sinasabi ni Congressman Abante. Ano masasabi nyo? Sang-ayon ba kayo sa mga statements niya dito sa interview ni Pinky Webb? Mag-comment, mag-react. Babasahin natin yan ang inyong argumento at comments sa comment section. Usap-usap po tayo. Okay? Sa mga nanonood ngayon sa Donmar TV, paki-like at saka paki-share itong video na ito para kakalat ito sa taong bayan. Marami po ang makaalam sa nangyayari ngayon sa Pilipinas. And sa mga ngayon lang nanonood sa aking channel, sa aking live o sa aking programa, no? If this is your first time, mag-subscribe na po kayo. Libre lang ang mag-subscribe. Walang bayad yan sa YouTube. Okay? Updated pa kayo sa mga balita. So guys, see you in my next video. Have a great day. Have a great night. God bless po sa ating lahat. At mabuhay ang Pilipinas. God save the Philippines. Bye-bye.